Hi everyone, it's Miss Ellie from the Crown Point Community Library. Welcome to story time. Should we get started with our hello song? It goes like this. Hello, 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 and how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. Hello, 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 and how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. Good job. All right, so today we are going to learn about an animal that you may have seen before in a zoo, but they do not live in this part of the world normally, and that is a sloth. That's right. So we will get started with our story in a little bit here, but before we do that, I wanted to do a rhyme that we learned a couple of story times ago. So it's all about getting our wiggles out. Are you ready? It says, I wiggle my fingers. Wiggle those fingers. I wiggle my toes. Can you wiggle your toes? I wiggle my shoulders. Wiggle your shoulders. I wiggle my nose. Can you do it? I can't really do that. Now all the wiggles are out of me. I'm as still as I can be. Okay, so we're gonna do it one more time, and when I say this last part and I say I'm as still as I can be, I want you to freeze. Okay? Ready? I wiggle my fingers. I wiggle my toes. I wiggle my shoulders. I wiggle my nose. Now all the wiggles are out of me. I'm as still, good job, as I can be. All right, let's get started with our story. Sloth Slept On by Fran Preston Gannon. Published by Sterling Children's Books. He wasn't like any other creature we had ever found in the backyard. We asked him his name. We asked what he was doing up in our tree, but there was no answer. He was asleep. Do you see the poster? It says, "Missing. Please return to the zoo." We had lots of questions, so we set off to find some answers. First, we asked Dad what he thought, but he was busy. What's he doing? He's mopping the floor. We looked in all the books we could find. They were full of pictures and words and places and things, but there was nothing that looked like our new friend. Look right here. A grown-up is reading the paper. What does it say? It says, "Zoo breakout. Zookeeper looks high and low for missing animal." We knew he wasn't an elephant. He didn't have a trunk. He wasn't a tiger either. He didn't have any stripes. He wasn't a horse or a bear. He let out a loud snore. He was still asleep. Perhaps he didn't belong in our backyard at all. Maybe he had traveled for a very long time from somewhere far away. He's in space. Do you think he came from outer space? Maybe he was a ferocious pirate who had been sailing the seas and was sleepy from all of his adventures. They're imagining him as a pirate. He might even be a brave knight who was exhausted from spending all his time fighting dragons. Look. This little person found it in a book. Look! He is not an elephant or an astronaut or a pirate or a knight. He is an animal called a sloth. We learned that our friend usually lives in the beautiful rainforests of Central and South America, right here. This sloth is a type called a three-toed sloth who uses his strong grip to stay in the trees. Sloths move very, very slowly. The sloth is a very sleepy animal. He can sleep hanging in a tree for up to 20 hours a day. That's a long time. There's only 24 hours in a day. Sometimes a sloth lives in the same tree in the rainforest for years at a time. The rainforest has all the things that a sloth likes to eat best, such as leaves, fruit, twigs, and even bugs. Look at the bugs. The rainforest sounded wonderful. We decided there was only one thing to do. We found a nice big box and used all the stamps we could find. We packed him some lovely leaves to eat and toys for the journey. What does the box say? It says, "Please send to the rainforest." Oh no. There's that poster again. It says, "Missing. If found, please return to the zoo." Where did they return him to? Not to the zoo. We were so happy the sloth had come all the way from the rainforest to visit. We would miss him lots, but we were glad that he would be waking up back where he belonged. And he's looking up at the airplane that the sloth might be on. Deep in the rainforest, the sloth finally stirred. He had been having the most wonderful sleep. He slowly lifted his head, looked around, and said, look, he's peeking out of the box, and he sees all these animals. What do you think he's gonna say? Excuse me, which way is the zoo? So their new friend, the sloth, was not used to being in the rainforest at all. He was actually used to being in the zoo. I hope that you enjoyed that story. In this week, if you come to pick up a take and make bag, you will get the pieces to make this little guy your own sloth pencil topper, or pen or marker or whatever you want. But just like in our story where the sloth was sleeping basically the whole time, that's what I made his face look like. He's got little sleeping eyes. So definitely stop by and pick up a take and make bag if you're interested in making one of those. I am so glad that you spent some time with me today listening to a story. I will be happy to see you again in a couple of weeks. For more virtual programming and story times, visit crownpointlibrary.org or subscribe to this YouTube channel. Bye!